All right. Hey, everybody. Steve Stedman here. Just taking a look at some weather related stuff and how it relates to Sandy Point. It's Tuesday, November 19th, 2024, at about 4 p.m., which was when this big weather system was supposed to hit. If we take a look, it says we've got a gale force warning in effect. It used to say from 4 p.m. today until 4 a.m. tomorrow. So, gale force weather for the next 12 hours. Gusty winds, 20 to 30 miles an hour, gusts up to 50 miles an hour. Yeah, at Sandy Point, we get a lot of that in the winter. The difference is this is going to be coming out of the east rather than the west or northeast or other things like that. Taking a look here next, we've got the wind is starting to pick up. We're currently about 20 miles an hour. I'm using the Seymour station, weather station, to do this because my weather station got destroyed by a couple of eagles who decided to have a meal on it last summer, and it's now broken and dead. What we can see here is that the winds have been picking up over the last couple of hours, and we're kind of in that 20 to 25 range now, and the wind is currently coming from the east-northeast. The other thing we're seeing is that the pressure is starting to drop. Although we're down to about 29.86, I don't usually get too worried until we're below 29, but let's continue to monitor that, see how it goes. The thing I know is that with the barometric pressure, the last three major flooding events that we've had at Sandy Point have been when the pressure was below 29. So as long as we're above 29, we're probably doing okay there, but we'll see how it goes. One thing to keep in mind, if we look at the map up here, with the wind coming out of the south, there's not a lot of area for big waves to build because there's too many obstacles in the way to the south of us. Lummi Island, Gooseberry Point, Portage Island, and other things through Hales Passage there. So the size of the waves is oftentimes determined by how much of a distance we have, and then if we've got it coming out of the east or the northeast, we've got Lummi Bay behind Sandy Point. There's not a lot of room for waves, big waves to form. Looking outside, the waves look like they're about a foot now, and I can't imagine if the wind keeps coming from the east that they're going to get any bigger than that. We've got the wind advisory. If we take a look, I mean, we're really in for the next 12 to 24 hours. Let's take a look at Windy. Windy's an app that tracks the wind. I like it. I use it when we're boating quite a bit. And what we can see is off the west coast, west of Oregon, west of southwest Washington, kind of off Ocean Shores area, many miles out, we're seeing low pressure form. And if I hit the play button down here and let this roll through the evening and into tomorrow, you can see that low pressure zone, that central, I guess they call it a Pacific hurricane or a cyclone bomb. That's what's moving north. The nice thing is the forecast yesterday showed it approaching closer to us, but now we see that's moving north and away. So hopefully that will help keep our pressure high and keep it from getting too low in the Sandy Point area. But hopefully also it'll reduce the winds in our area. We're still going to see high winds, but not as high a winds as if that low pressure zone had come right into our area. We look at things like Bellingham Herald. They're pushing the cyclone bomb. Here's the expected timeline, and it's really between now and the next 12 to 16 hours. Seattle Times, same thing about that. The other thing we're seeing, though, is a coastal flood advisory that's coming out from the National Weather Service from 7 a.m. until 1 p.m. tomorrow. Now, if we look at tides, our high tide is tomorrow morning. One of our king tides, I think it's around 9 to 9:30 a.m. So in that zone, that's when we're going to have the most likelihood of having flooding. And I think that what they're saying there is it's really 2 feet above the forecasted level there. So we want to keep an eye out on the tides tomorrow, but we really need to see what happens with the pressure because the pressure is going to impact how big the tides are really above the normal forecasted tide level. So I'll update as I can over the next 24 hours, but we'll just keep an eye on things and see how they're going. Thing that's got me a little bit worried right now is that we're seeing that pressure drop, as we can see here on this local weather station. It's dropping at a pretty good pace there. And if we look at the forecast, it's only expected to drop to 29.5 tonight, and then again 29.56 around Friday. And then after we get through the night, the pressure is supposed to start rising after that. So with this cyclone bomb, there's going to be a whole lot of rain associated with it, supposedly. So we'll see it where it goes there. Looking out at what we've got going on at Sandy Point, Um, we got to see that pressure drop before we're going to expect flooding, or we've got to see bigger waves coming in from a different direction. South or east isn't really going to hit us with the waves, I don't think. Anyway, that's my opinion. That's my 2 cents. We'll keep an eye on this wind chart and see how it goes. And hopefully it stays out in the ocean rather than coming in and hitting us. Anyway, hang in there, see how the weather goes, and stay warm.